Welcome to Writer's Workshop. Good writers need many strategies for writing stories with all different kinds of structures. In class, we've been writing stories that start in one place and end in another. Today, I'm going to teach you about circle text. A circle text is a story that starts in one place, goes all the way in a circle, and ends up in the exact same place. To demonstrate this, we're going to read a book called The Paperboy by David Pilkey. When we're reading this, if you start to hear a detail at the end, towards the end of the story that you heard at the beginning, I want you to pat your head so I know that you heard that detail in that transition. So, without further ado, The Paperboy by David Pilkey. The mornings of the Paperboy are still dark, and they are always cold, even in the summer. And on these cold mornings, the Paperboy's bed is still warm, and it is always hard to get out, even for his dog. But they do. And softly they step down the quiet hall, past the door where the Paperboy's father and mother are sleeping, past the door where his sister is asleep, and down to the kitchen where they eat from their bowls. And out to the garage where they quickly fold their papers, snapping on green rubber bands and placing them in a larger red bag. So we know where our starting point is. Our starting point is the Paperboy's house. So let's keep reading and let's see where he goes from there. It's hard to ride a bike when you are loaded down with newspapers, but the Paperboy has learned how to do this, and he is good at it. The Paperboy knows his route by heart, so he doesn't even ever think about which house to pedal to. Instead, he is thinking about other things, big things, and small things, and sometimes he is thinking about nothing at all. His dog, too, knows the route by heart. He knows which trees are for sniffing, he knows which bird baths are for drinking, which squirrels are for chasing, and which cats are for growling at. So they seem like they know their route pretty well. All the world is asleep except for the Paperboy and his dog, and this is the time when they are the happiest. Can anybody tell me something they notice about this picture that's different than all the other ones we've seen? The sky is starting to change colors. But by little, the world around them wakes up. The stars and the moon fade away, and the skies become orange and pink. So we see the lights in the houses are starting to turn on, and the sky has turned pink and orange. And then the Paperboy has delivered his last newspaper. He and his dog race home. So where are they going back to? They're going back home, right. And his empty red bag flaps behind him in the cold morning air. Soon they are back home. It is still dark inside, but the sounds of morning are all around. His father and mother are awake and talking softly in their bed, and his sister is downstairs watching Saturday morning cartoons. And back inside his own room, the Paperboy pulls down his shade and crawls back into bed, which is still warm. And while all the world is waking up, the Paperboy is going back to sleep, and his dog is sleeping too. Their work is done, and now is the time for dreaming. So we saw where the Paperboy started. He started at his house. He went all the way around throughout his paper route, and he came back to his house when he was done with his paper route. So now that we've read this circle text during Writing Workshop and Independent Writing, let's see if we can write a story that goes in a full circle.